we are back with you live once again on another Johnnie Torch live broadcast. Broadcast number 220. Or is it 221? Did I make a mistake? I think it's 220. And Torch News Roundup number 264. I remember checking that one. Yeah, it is definitely 264. 264, wow. Always surprises me. The show is so successful and so beloved everywhere that we're on the 264th episode. Wow. What a long, strange trip it has been. Well, that reminds me, I haven't done Johnny's Jukebox today. We're closing up Superstar Week with Roy Orbison. And if you want to check that out, you could always check out the link in the description below for my Twitter page. I'm always there causing mischief far too often. Far more than I should be. But if you like looking into said mischief, you can check out the link in the description below and check it out. Also, of course, we want to point your attention towards our website, also linked in the description below. For the Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye, please check out our most recent issue, issue number 9, In the Final Hours, where Bullets Bourbon takes on his arch nemesis Carrot Top in a life or death struggle with the fate of the world in the balance. Well, no, not really, not this time, but I'm gonna hype it up a little more than I usually do. But this is a very personal story, though. This is a personal story between Bullets Bourbon and Carrot Top. It's sort of like, you know, the obsession one for defeating the other has really gotten to both of them. And it's really a personal story. I kind of liken it to, you know, Wrath of Khan. You know, there's the sense where the protagonist and the antagonist both really want to get their hands around the throat of the other. And it comes to a head. It's a story of obsession, betrayal, and temptation. Carrot Top returns home to his father's gang, the Vegetable Garden Gang, his father, Don Parsnip Top, the Don of the very powerful family in Stark City's 5 families. Of course, they are going after a priceless statuette. It's a jewel-encrusted gold carrot statuette encrusted with priceless emeralds and rubies, and it's a symbol of power, really, for whoever holds it in the 5 families. A gang war ensues with the fruit salad mob trying to get to the statuette first. Bullets is caught in between all this in his effort to try to take Carrot Top down and bring him to justice. Of course, Carrot Top's gorgeous femme fatale, Veronica Sinclair, gets involved. Lots of stuff going on. I just can't do it justice talking about it in a 2 or 3 minute sound bite, but you really should check it out. And of course, The Family Jewels is the story arc. Temptation Eyes, the second part of the story, also dealing with Bullet's dealings with Veronica. Will she tempt him to the dark side for her malevolent master Carrot Top, or will our stalwart hero find himself being true to the very end? As the tagline says, has a hero earned the title hero unless he's given everything he has? We'll find out if Bullet survives this life and death struggle in Bullets Bourbon Casebook 9 in the Final Hours. And also reminding you guys, we got the our one appearance at Plastic City Comic-Con this year. That's coming up in July. Check out the website also for information on when and where and how to get there. We got you taken care of there. And, you know, make sure you check out the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. Very excited about this story arc. This was a very personal story. You know, when you say personal story, it leads me to believe that it's going to be crap. But honestly, you know, I dug deep into the emotions of these characters for this storyline. And this is not just your average adventure. This is a story that really is going to impact every character in the Bullets Bourbon saga. So if you check out only one story arc in our illustrious saga, you should check out The Family Jewels. I think it really came well. Not to say that the other issues didn't, the other story arcs. You can get them all as you see in the scroll below in tell you all the prices and page count by just simply looking down and reading the scroll. But yeah, we're looking forward to issue 10 coming out. I'm still working very hard on that. I've got the sleepless nights to prove it, but it's a labor of love. And looking forward to this next arc. We haven't talked about it too much. I kind of want to do the cover first before I do the villain reveal, because I like to have some images to go with it before I reveal that. A lot of the issue pages are done. The interior artwork, a lot of it is done. We've got a few more uh, pages to color. We're about 3/4 of the way through the coloring, and we've got some little bit of lettering to do as well. So that is all coming together well, and hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit of that coming up. But we're still doing the promo for this issue and this story arc. So make sure you check this out. Check out the link in the description below for your edition of Bullets Bourbon, the in the final hours, and the Family Jewels story arc. Well, it's been a busy couple of weeks. I think our last show was 2 weeks ago. We did do the Obi-Wan review, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the first 3 episodes. We're going to do after this Wednesday, probably. I'm going to try to do it for Thursday, but we're going to do episodes 4, 5, and 6. Of course, at this point, only 4 and 5 are out, so we're waiting for number 6 to come out before we do that final wrap-up. And I'm really enjoying the show. I also want to do another video that's going to... It's going to be kind of a short rant that's going to take on some of the issues surrounding the show and how the fandom has really shown itself to be way too rigid when it comes to this show. I think it's unexcusable. Now, the show, I always go on to say, is not a masterpiece. It's not, Lucas era quality, but it is being really lambasted in a way that is really sad, because it seems like at this point, nothing is going to satisfy the fans. And we're going to talk about that in another video. But if you want to hear a little of that, you can check out the previous video, the Obi-Wan Kenobi review, episodes 1 through 3. Also, I picked up Morbius. I'm looking forward to watching this. This is another case of... This film has been lambasted quite a long time now. It's been out since, April? And is it really as bad as all that? Is this just one of those cases of everybody wanting to take a dump on a property that honestly didn't have a lot going for it? I don't know. Even the most ardent fan of Morbius in the comics really demanded this film. But, I'm going to give it every break. I'm going to give it an opportunity. If it's going to be a good Morbius film, I'll say so. If it's going to be the trash fire that everybody acts like it is, I'll say that too. But it seems like it's going to be difficult to to match the enthusiasm with which people have heaped abuse upon this movie. All right, so we've got a lot to get to today. We did our 10-minute spiel here for promoting, of course, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications, and please, share the video. Make sure you let others know. We're growing a little bit slower this year than we were last year. Last year, we doubled our sub count by leaps and bounds. This year, we've only picked up about 4 or 5 subs. So hopefully you guys get the message out. If you like what we do here, no nonsense. Call a spade a spade. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I'm not playing to any agenda. I don't have an agenda. The only thing that I pretty much have as a mission statement is don't give me woke programming and expect me to like it. No SJWs. SJWs are not welcome. Apart from that, I'm going to look at everything objectively, realistically, and try to judge everything on its merits. That's all I do. All right, so we're going to take a look at some of the shows we got to take a look at. Now, let's take a look first at Black Adam's trailer. This was honestly a while back, but I figured I'd better give my 2 cents on it. I don't have a whole lot to say about this, the Black Adam trailer. This is something new as well. For some reason, I can't get the images up without putting them into the edit box. I've never been able to get images up well first at all. So if anybody out there knows how to do this without me having to just put it up in photo and it's just like up on a big block there instead of filling the whole screen like it really should be doing, please let me know. I'd be very welcome to the advice. Uh, but anyway, this is the way we're gonna have to soldier on for today because I couldn't figure out any other way to do it. So we're talking about the trailer for Black Adam. This goes a little bit into his biography, his origin. I guess he was a slave, and apparently he was killed. His son sacrificed his life to bring him back. He somehow found himself transported into modern day. We got some kind of a rap soundtrack doing the background music here. We are introduced to Dr. Fate, of course, played by Pierce Brosnan. Kent Nelson, I believe, is the alter ego of Dr. Fate, if I remember correctly. He's the one I'm really looking forward to in this whole shebang. We're going to have, I guess, the Justice Society play second fiddle here to Black Adam. We see Captain Adam, I believe, is that the name of that character that's grown really tall and he's running through the streets. And we also see Hawkman, the race-changed Hawkman, which, again, this that kind of bugs me. I usually say that that's kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'm not going to see a film because of it. Honestly, it's one of those things I don't care enough about Hawkman to really cause a stink. I suppose if this was a Hawkman solo project, I would say, look, just make him look the way he looks in the comics. But I'll be honest, if he's a supporting player here, that's like me not going to see Thor because of Hamdall being race changed. Doesn't really matter to me that much. You're gonna do Hamdall the movie, and you're gonna revolve around the storylines of the character from the comics. Yeah, it means a little something else. Here, don't mean that much to me. And we see Hawkman basically taking Black Adam to task because I guess Black Adam kind of wants to be the good guy in this. Again, I don't really know too much about Black Adam in the comics beyond he's a Shazam villain. He's a Captain Marvel Shazam villain. For all of you old timers out there that want to keep calling him Captain Marvel, I understand. Old habits die hard. I never really had a problem with that because I always called him Shazam regardless, even when he was called Captain Marvel. I was like, oh, that's Shazam. So to me, the name change don't really impact me all that much. So Hawkman takes him to task and says superheroes don't kill. At least they're sticking with that. That's more than I can say for most other DCEU projects where the heroes kill indiscriminately. Let's be honest. Um it looks like I don't know, a lot of people were making fun of the fact that the Air Force apparently is accosting him and it's like a scene out of Iron Man or whatever. And Dr. Fate basically gives him the charge, you have the choice of either becoming like the greatest hero the world's ever known or the greatest villain destined to destroy humanity. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he's saying. And, I hope they go with the latter. I really want to see Shazam 3 be a Black Adam showdown. A lot of people are also saying maybe this is the way you fold Superman back into the universe, which, again, they're taking so long to do something with Henry Cavill's Superman that I think they're probably just going to wait him out now. I'm already hearing like, well, he's aging out of the role because he's like pushing 40 now. Honestly, he still looks great. I mean, I kind of find it hard to believe you're going to push out Henry Cavill from the role because he's going to turn 40. I mean, especially as well preserved as he looks. I don't think there's a lot of behind the scenes going on with the DCEU. I don't know exactly where any of this falls, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to change the complexion of the DCU going forward, and we'll look into that probably another time. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this interesting to you? Are you looking forward to the Black Adam movie? It's going to be out, I believe, in October. I forget what it was, the 19th, I believe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If Black Adam looks like it's your cup of tea. All right, something else I wanted to bring to your attention here. I just noticed because I got another vote. All right, so I've got the Twitter page up, and we have on it a poll, the poll of the week, and so far we're tied with 2 votes. So the question is, we're going to be talking about Thor: Love and Thunder coming up right now, and the question I put to the followers on my Twitter page is, will Thor, now of course I have to specify the Chris Hemsworth version of Thor. We're not talking about Lady Thor, the Jane Foster Thor, but will Thor, the Chris Hemsworth version, die in Thor: Love and Thunder? The options are either, yep, mantle passing, you know what it's all about for this phase 4 of Marvel. It's all about the mantle passing. Nope, he'll be back, because I think of all of them, Chris Hemsworth seems to be the most open to returning to the role of Thor. You know, Chris Evans, he's kind of on the fence. He's going to come back. He's not going to come back. He's going to come back. He's not going to come back. And then we have Robert Downey Jr., I think, kind of priced himself out of their range. I think that's why they killed him off, because they were like, look, we can't afford to keep, paying you for this. Why don't you get a good send off, and we'll write you a nice check for the final one. Or he won't die but retire. They could just sort of hedge their bets and say, well, the way they're framing this movie is that, well, he's going to sort of hand the reins over to Jane, and he's gonna just kind of ride off into the sunset. He's gonna go off and do his own thing. He's not gonna do a superhero career any longer, and the future is open for him to do other things. So head on over. It's a 7-day poll, so you still got plenty of time if you're watching this anytime close to when I recorded it. And check out on our Twitter page, will Thor die in Thor: Love and Thunder? Either yes, no, or he will retire from the role. Let me know what you think. And you can also let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Chris Hemsworth's done with the role? I mean, Loki, we still have Hiddleston, Tom Hiddleston. He's still going to do Loki season 2, which I believe they are starting to shoot now as we speak. All right, but let's take a look at, since we're talking about Love and Thunder, let's talk about the most interesting thing that just came out recently. The information is, in fact, Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be rated PG-13, and the nudity that was blurred over in the trailer / commercials is, in fact, going to be unblurred for the film itself. Now, this is not a surprise to me. This doesn't come as a surprise to me, because when you had Chris Pratt giving the bird in the Guardians trailer and they had it all blurred out, they actually did that in the movie. I thought it would have been funnier if they did blur it out, but no, they had to do it, of course, because they have to sort of placate James Gunn and Taika Waititi's sort of degenerate streak, may I be frank. And I knew once I seen the trailer they were going to do this. And I guess this will make only the second time we've had superhero nudity, right? At least on the big screen. I can only think of Days of Future Past with Wolverine, and I guess technically also X-Men Origins. Although, I'm not talking about R-rated movies, mind you. I'm just talking about the mainstream family movies. I think it's only Hugh Jackman who was bare butt for... Oh, well, what was that? There was the Incredible Hulk, I think. No, just Hulk. That's what it was. started that whole thing, because I remember that was when I first came online, basically when that movie just came out, and I was outraged. And again, I feel the same thing here. Why are we doing this? Why are we sort of placating the degeneracy of the director by taking a children's character, a family character, and doing something like this? Now, we got copy here from Taika Waititi describing why he chose to do this. Let's see. Taika Waititi said, "We all knew we wanted to do it from very early on." Oh, I'm sure you did. That was in the first draft of the script, actually, and Chris was on board as well. I think you have a body like Chris, like, even he understands. It would be a waste to not show it off. It would be a crime against humanity. So, it's, you have to provide for the masses. All right, so I'm glad Taika Waititi feels this way, and I'm glad that Chris Hemsworth and Hugh Jackman, they felt this way, that they're providing entertainment for the masses. Where was this kind of feeling when Scarlett Johansson was in the MCU? Where is this feeling for Elizabeth Olsen in the MCU? Where is this feeling for, you can go down the line. I mean, honestly, it's basically two-faced. Come on. This is a double standard. We all know it. They have each and every one of, and I've said this many times, so I'm sure I'm repeating myself to the nth degree, but we've had the shirtless scenes being a staple of Marvel from the very beginning. Basically, watch any Marvel movie, any MCU movie at the very least, and you're going to see a shirtless scene, even if it's 2 seconds. Even if some of the more quickie shots, they always include one shirtless scene. Where we basically haven't seen a female superhero in the MCU with more than bare arms, and even that is kind of stretching it. Again, this is just the greatest hypocrisy. And again, like I said, I'm a Christian. I don't want to sort of promote degeneracy by saying, "Well, where's my nude Scarlett Johansson uh, cameo?" I'm happy with it. I can live life without that. But the thing is if you're going to do this, you can't be a hypocrite and act like the masses want to see Chris Hemsworth's butt. The masses want to see Hugh Jackman's butt. We got to give them what they want. Well, there's another demographic. There's a completely different demographic that doesn't want to see Chris Hemsworth's butt, that doesn't want to see Hugh Jackman's butt, that wants to take their kids to see these films and not have to let their kids see their butts. And I imagine that same demographic probably would want to see Scarlett Johansson's butt. I mean, I won't place myself into that company, but I'm pretty sure they would be just as happy to have equal time. But anyway, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this is the beginning of a trend that, again, like I've been saying for years now, I've been saying pretty much since I first came on YouTube, that they're going to age the superhero genre away from its intended audience. You see this with Joker, you see this with Logan, you see this with Deadpool, you see this with all these franchises that are trying to appeal to an adult demo. I haven't seen the Batman. I don't plan to, at least anytime soon. They're even saying that was sort of, a hard PG-13. They were really trying to push the envelope. The envelope has been pushed as far as it can possibly be pushed. When are we going to admit that these characters were created for children? That these movies should reflect that these characters were created for children? They should be easily accessible to children. And again, like I said, I'm not a Puritan by any means. I mean, you want to have the shirtless scenes of Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt, and Benedict Cumberbatch even gets in on it. Then you've got to be a little more fair with not having the female heroes, the super heroines, so to speak, be completely covered up. If you watch the WandaVision series and compare it to the most recent uh, Madness in the Multiverse, or Multiverse of Madness, they went from having the Scarlet Witch having, bare arms to, having to be completely covered up. It's ludicrous. It's completely insane. And these double standards are just, it's just woke politics. It's just SJW. We got to make sure there's no male gaze, you know? We don't want anyone ogling our actresses. We don't want anyone seeing any bare arm because, we're living as Puritans. This is like an Amish uh plantation here in the MCU. But the guys can be shirtless, and the guys now will even go so far as to let them drop their trousers, dropping trow in the MCU. I just foresee bad things for the MCU. I think it's going to get less and less family friendly. They're already putting the Netflix shows on Disney Plus, which, okay, I guess it makes sense, especially if they're going to fold those characters somehow. I don't know if they're going to be direct fold-ins into the MCU, but they're definitely looking like they're taking off restrictions. They've already said about 5,000 times the Deadpool 3 is going to be rated R. And again, Deadpool is a different kind of animal. You can kind of do something like that. That's why I said it. There's a handful of characters that maybe you can make an exception. I think Deadpool works just as good as a PG-13. I don't think you needed to make him R. You can make him R. You can make the Punisher R. You do a couple of things like this. But some of these real name characters like Thor, like Wolverine, like the Joker and Batman, they were created for kids. They weren't created for you to, you know, take out your adult fantasies on and say, well, they have to grow up with me. They have to be some kind of socially conscious construct. It's just ridiculous. All right, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you interested in this? Are you excited about this? Let me know what you think. All right, let's see. More information coming out about a Wonder Man television show on Disney Plus. I call them television shows. I'm old school. I don't care. What do they call it? Streaming shows or something like that? I don't know. We'll find out. With Disney Plus Day fast approaching, the hope is that Marvel Studios is gearing up to announce a new wave of TV shows. Well, I guess, yeah, you can call it a TV show. One of these projects may have been revealed early, though, as the Hollywood Reporter confirms that Wonder Man is now officially in development. I hope he has this costume. I always thought as a kid this was the most boring costume for a superhero imaginable. It's, what do you call that? It's like basically a flak jacket, something like that, and red boots. And he's got sunglasses and a turtleneck. That is not a superhero outfit. But if you see the other outfits that he's worn in his career, they're horrible. He's got like the worst costumes. This is probably the best costume, and it's terrible. But they should do something about they should do something about spiffing it up a little bit, but we'll see. The project is still in the early stages. The hope is that shooting could begin as soon as 2023. Most exciting is the news that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings director Destin Daniel Cretton is working on the series with writer Andrew Guest. His credits include hits like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, 30 Rock, and Community, and Guest is set to serve as head writer for Wonder Man. Cretton will executive produce and likely direct a few episodes. Wonder Man, this is good because I don't really know a whole lot about Wonder Man other than he was in the Avengers for a time. I remember him mostly in the 70s and early 80s comics. Wonder Man made his Marvel Comics debut in the pages of Avengers number 9 in 1964. Initially a villain, he was later retconned and became a hero and an Avenger. In the 1970s, his brother is the Grim Reaper, while it was his brainwaves that were used by Ultron as the basis for the Vision, giving them something of a brotherly relationship. Yeah, I remember that about Ultron. I don't know this about the Grim Reaper, but I digress. Simon Williams assembled alongside the West Coast Avengers and ultimately became a successful actor and stuntman. That also rings a bell. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 very nearly included a nod to the character, with Nathan Fillion lending his face to some movie posters that didn't make the final cut. In addition to working on Wonder Man, Cretton is also developing a sequel to Shang-Chi and a possible Disney Plus spin-off, though we do wonder if this is the show he's been attached to for a while. As for Guest, he's no MCU newbie, as he previously served as a consulting producer on Hawkeye. According to Variety's Joe Otterson, there's a chance this Disney Plus Wonder Man project is being developed as a Hollywood satire, though he adds that this is not 100% confirmed. All right, so what do you think? Is this going to be pretty good, or is this going to be sort of like what they're doing with She-Hulk? This is kind of a slightly askew, not quite continuity-ish part of the MCU. It's like that's getting their own corner now. They're in their own corner. The MCU is sort of satire-ish, comedy-ish, corner of the galaxy. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below about the Wonder Man series. All right, also breaking news this week was the Barbie movie. Yes, we're still covering news on the Barbie movie. The Barbie movie showed their first shot of Ken, Ryan Gosling as Ken. This is not quite what I expected of Ken. Albino Ken, I guess. I don't know. I this is just not what I was expecting. The Ken I remember was mostly he had, because I was a kid in the 80s, he had sort of that helmet hair. I was expecting him to have like a 1970s helmet hair like Donny Osmond. That's what I think of when I think of Ken. I don't know. I mean, Barbie always kind of looked the same. At least in my generation, she always kind of had that, blonde hair. It just kind of looked like blonde, like Barbie. Ken kind of, I guess, is up with the times now, an albino Ken. Okay, let's see. After releasing a first look at two-time Academy Award nominee Margot Robbie as the titular heroine during CinemaCon earlier this year, Warner Brothers has now shared a new image of co-star and fellow two-time Academy Award nominee Ryan Gosling as Ken in Greta Gerwig's Barbie. Plot details remain under wraps, but the film is said to feature multiple versions of Barbie and Ken, which should result in plenty of fun scenarios. Gearing is at the helm, also penning the script along with longtime partner Noah Baumbach. The supporting cast features American Fiara, Simu Liu, Kate McKinnon, Ariel Greenblatt, Alexandra Shipp, Emma McKay, Kingsley Ben Ader, Issa Rae, Michael Cera, Rhea Perlman, Will Ferrell, Nikki Gutwa, Emerald Fennell, Hari Neff, Sharon Rooney, Scott Evans, Anna Cruz, Kenny, Connor Swindells, Ritu Arya, and Jamie Demetriou. All right, that's an interesting lineup. But again, apparently this is going to be, they're going to go through the world of Barbies where it's like a multiverse where there's, and I guess this makes sense, honestly, because Barbie, if you go to the store, there's just Barbie, there's Black Barbie, there's like Latina Barbie, there's Asian Barbie. So I guess that they're going to try to fold all that into this film and try to say, well, we have a Barbie of every color and race and creed, and our Barbie, the Margot Robbie one, I guess is going to meet them all. This, of course, is Barbie, which she looks just like Barbie. I mean, the car and the fireplace or whatever that heck that is there. Anyway, but again, I don't know. This is probably going to be a disaster. I don't know, but it seems interesting enough for me to cover it on the news, and hopefully we'll get a trailer pretty soon and really get some idea of what's going on with this film. Will Ferrell and all those, it kind of suggests it's not going to be taken too seriously. So I have a feeling it's going to be a comedy. Just throwing it out there. All right, Barbie hits theaters July 21st, 2023. All right. Next up, we have another film in the works just announced. Venom 3. Venom 3 officially given the green light. And there's really not much to say about this, but let's see. Sony Pictures confirmed that Venom 3 is in the works at CinemaCon, and Tom Hardy has shared a first look at the threequel screenplay. There's no title, but the actor shares a story by credit with screenwriter Kelly Marcel. Let's see. The first draft is already completed. In the Instagram story, Hardy posted a sticker over the image saying last ride. So apparently this is going to be the last one. I guess there's not going to be a Venom 4 or a continuation in the Venom universe, which is kind of sad. I don't know. This, it actually says in the copy, what this means is up for debate. It may be a reference to this being the last chapter in the trilogy, or an indication that the actor intends to walk away from the role once he's finished working on the next movie. It's kind of amazing that they haven't, if this is the last movie and they haven't put him against Spider-Man yet, this is going to be one of the oddest, one of the oddest film trilogies known to mankind. I was a little, I don't know, I was a little disappointed with Let There Be Carnage. I think I liked it more than the average viewer. I think they just needed to, like, maybe pop in a couple more scenes with Carnage, and they needed to sort of tune up the relationship with Venom and Eddie in the second film. They probably could have done a little more with showing why they kind of had a falling out. That was my problem with the second one. But yeah, no information yet as to whether Venom is going to be facing Spider-Man in this one. Venom Let There Be Carnage ended with Detective Pat Mulligan, spoilers by the way, Pat Mulligan gaining powers. So the most likely outcome is that the symbiote will once again battle another foe with an alien costume. In the comics, Pat became Toxin, and we're sure there's a role for Stephen Graham in the sequel. There's no word on who will direct Venom 3. Ruben Fleischer helmed Venom, while Andy Serkis was enlisted to take charge of the sequel. There is no release date as of yet. So I feel like that's probably what they're going to do. I think if there was ever, I think what they try to do in these films, the Sonyverse films, they try to build up some excitement for, all right, we're giving you an origin. We're building a universe. These are Spidey's bad guys. He's going to fight Spidey eventually. And then nothing happens. Then they just like what they did with Venom 2. It was built up that he was going to meet Spider-Man. And then after No Way Home, he's just back, never met Spider-Man, nothing was accomplished. I haven't seen Morbius yet, but apparently it's the same thing here, where they're going to have something to do with Michael Keaton's Vulture, and they kind of backed off on it, and it was like, well, we'll see. Maybe something will happen of note. I don't have very much confidence that anything's going to be done with Venom and Spider-Man. I don't think that their paths are going to cross at all in the Tom Hardy era. I hope I'm wrong. I really like the way Tom Hardy is playing this character. I really like Venom in this franchise. I think it's actually better than what we usually see of him in the comics, but it really doesn't make any difference because, you know, we're in the multiverse era. We're in the multiverse age. And this could be and it is, a different Venom than the one that has an origin with being angry at Spider-Man. We got that with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3. So I don't mind this Venom not having anything particularly to do with Spider-Man, but I think he should at least meet Spider-Man, even if his origin isn't closely tied to the webhead, so to speak. And it would be a nice way to finish, you know, with him getting the white spider on his chest as sort of a I don't know how they're going to work it in, some kind of a tribute to Spider-Man. It would be nice. I think they should do it, and hopefully they go for it there. But again, I think it's going to be basically Venom versus a symbiote. That's probably what we're going to have to look forward to. All right. Let me know what you think about Venom 3. What are you hoping to see in it? What do you think this possible villain for the film? Let me know. All right. Also, news coming out recently, Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is a comic that I just barely remembered. I think this came out like in the early 2000s, and I had an issue or two. I think Abomination was on it, on the team. There were several villains, and from what I understand, I think it's basically the MCU's version of the Suicide Squad. It's basically they take a bunch of villains and they put them together on a team to try to do good. We'll see how this works. Let's see. It's been increasingly obvious that Marvel Studios has been planning some sort of Thunderbolts project for a while, and Deadline has now confirmed that a movie based on the supervillain anti-hero team is officially in development. Jake Shearer is set to direct, with Black Widow scribe Eric Pearson penning the script. Plot details are few and far between, but the movie is said to revolve around, quote unquote, a group of supervillains, or at least characters who have played bad guys at one point in the MCU, who go on missions for the government. In the comics, the Thunderbolts were originally introduced as a new superhero team who stepped in when the Avengers were declared dead after the events of Onslaught. But it was soon revealed that they were actually the masters of evil in disguise. Ultimately, most members of the team reformed for real and did their best to become a force for good. We don't know which characters will make up the roster, but we assume this is the group Valentina Allegra D. Fontaine began to put together in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If so, John Walker, U.S. agent, is a safe bet, with Baron Zemo, Abomination, Yelena Belova, the Black Widow, with as strong possibilities, with Ghost, Taskmaster, and Winter Soldier also mentioned as potential members. So, yeah, it sounds interesting. Expect a mix of established characters and new faces. Anyway, Marvel has reportedly been in touch with, quote unquote, certain individuals who are already part of the MCU to make sure to keep an opening in their schedules for next summer. So yeah, this is interesting. I mean, some of these characters I'd like to see again. Some I don't think we need to see again. I don't think we need to see this version of Taskmaster again. I definitely don't want to see Taskmaster in this manner. If they want to do a Taskmaster Mark II, that would be fine, but no, not that Taskmaster. I don't know about Black Widow. I kind of would rather see Elena go on do something a little more interesting than like being on this and sort of being their Harley Quinn. I mean, not that she would act as goofy as that, but she would probably be their Harley Quinn. The same with probably Bucky. I don't know. Do we need Bucky to? It kind of feels like they're slumming to get involved in this. Quite honestly, U.S. agent, yeah, Baron Zemo. What else are you gonna do with Zemo, really? Um, Ghost. I forget where we left her because I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp in a long time. I I think she was cured, and I don't know where that leaves her. I don't remember. Abomination. Depending on what they do with him in She-Hulk, because I guess he's got a role in She-Hulk. We've already seen that they sort of are rehabilitating him from Shang-Chi with Wong. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. I think this might be interesting. I think this might be cool. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you interested in Thunderbolts? Of course, Thunderbolt Ross, who I think put this team together, the actor has passed on, unfortunately. So I don't really know if they're gonna try to recast him. Um, do they just sort of move on and count it as a real world loss and say he died? Again, they never had Betty Ross again with General Ross during all this. They never had Bruce Banner interact with General Ross during all this. So again, I really have been disappointed with what they did with the Hulk and the Hulk universe in the MCU. All right, so big news, really big news on this one. The comic book film going world, anyway, were left to collectively scratch their heads with this news. Apparently, the Joker is back, and this time he's going to be in a musical. That's right, Joker 2 is being talked about as being a musical, and get this, co-starring Lady Gaga as potentially Harley Quinn. I don't think that's been confirmed, but they're sort of saying that if they're going to have a Joker musical and they're going to cast Lady Gaga, where apparently she's been cast, who else is she going to play? So this, again, scratched a lot of people's heads upon hearing. Let's see. Lady Gaga is in early talks to star opposite Joaquin Phoenix in director Todd Phillips' sequel to The Joker, the Oscar-winning billion-dollar grossing 2019 Warner Brothers hit based on the DC villain. Phillips has been writing the script with Joker co-writer Scott Silver for some time and has finally shown it to the studio. Last week, Phillips revealed to social media the title of the new project, Joker, Folie à Deux, referencing a medical term for an identical or a similar mental disorder that affects two or more individuals, usually members of the same family. While the same social media post showed Phoenix reading the script, the actor's involvement is not exactly a fait accompli just yet. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Warner's has yet to close a deal with the actor, with the two sides deep into it. And he's going to do it. I think as long as it's Todd Phillips and the same screenwriters, he probably will do it. This does give one pause, though. I have to wonder. I don't know. Uh, if a deal is made, Gaga playing Harley Quinn would be the most likely bet. However, this new Quinn exists in a different DC universe than Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, the most recent appearing in 2021 Suicide Squad. I don't know. I mean, do we really need another Harley Quinn? I just didn't think we needed another Joker either. But although the Jared Leto Joker, that was kind of a tough pill to swallow, so to speak. But branching out and trying to do something like this, I don't know. By the time it was released in October 2019, Joker was riding a wave of adulation from the fall film festivals, which helped propel the movie into a record-breaking opening weekend. Box office analysts changing their prediction every day. It ended its theatrical run as number 4 highest-grossing R-rated movie of all time. It earned 11 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, and 1 Best Actor for Phoenix and Best Score for Hildur Guðnadóttir. Phillips previously produced A Star is Born, the 2018 remake that starred Joker producer Bradley Cooper and Gaga. Again, this to me sounds like, why not? I don't know. Personally, I don't know why people hate musicals to begin with. I like musicals, and it's every time you see people on social media, I hate musicals. I don't like this as a musical. I don't want to hear people singing and watching them dance. I don't understand that. I just don't get that because that was sort of the Hollywood thing for a long time, in the 30s and 40s. Ziegfeld Follies of 1938, they would do some kind of musical film for MGM, and of course that carried on for MGM for many years. And nowadays people are like, I don't like musicals. I want to see somebody get shot in the head, and I don't know. I don't know why people do that, but hey, society, what are you going to do? But I say, why not? Let's do this. Let's do this right. If you're going to take the Joker and, like they did with basically sticking him in a template for, King of Comedy / Taxi Driver, let's take the Joker and stick him in another 70s film and make it A Star is Born, starring the Joker. And then for Joker 3, Joker and the Bandit. Why not? You know what I mean? We just keep remaking 70s movies with the Joker as the protagonist. Why not? That might be the way you go for the Joker in the future. Just keep teaming him up. We'll stick him with who'd play the Jackie Gleason role in Joker and the Bandit. I don't know. It'd be Joker and Gaga and some Jackie Gleason ripoff on the run. Why not? Let's do it. I don't know. I mean, again, I saw Joker. I was not. I saw it basically because I had like a voodoo coupon, And I said, why not? I'll see what it's all about. Because I mean, honestly, I did like King of Comedy. I think that's probably my favorite Scorsese film. I said, why not? All right, I'll watch it. I wasn't crazy about it. It wasn't a disaster, but I mean, it's basically just taking the Joker and sticking him into another template of characters that you could have used anyone else. You could have not used the names Joker, Thomas Wayne, or whatever. You could have just made this clown man just some generic clown, and it would have been just as effective. You didn't need the Joker. All they did was just sell the movie on name recognition of being the Joker, and they're going to do the same thing here. It's probably not going to have anything to do with Batman. Probably not anything to do with the Waynes. So again, it's just you're mooching off the brand name, brand association. I don't think that should necessarily be rewarded. I don't think that's very original. But you got me curious, just like the first movie. You got me curious. I'll possibly check it out. Is this going to be as violent and bloody as the previous movie? I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out too. Because I don't know too many musicals that have like homicidal killers being involved. But let me know what you think. Do you think the Joker 2 Gaga's Revenge movie might be something worth checking out? I don't know. We'll see. All right, it's time for our Ezra Miller update of the week.
Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
Whoa, bro.
Fight?
Yeah, that's it. That's Ezra's. That's how we open up the show every time we talk about Ezra Miller. We've done this, I don't know how many times now. Oh my goodness, what is this? Lock up the children, hide the puppies, hide the kitties. This is pretty much obscene, but I had to see it, and so now you have to too. Before we get into the latest escapade in the life of Ezra Miller, they, them, please, I had an image up, the image that you see, the thumbnail, and I said, wanted, the fastest man alive. YouTube wouldn't allow that to be the thumbnail. They were giving me like a crossed out film spool or whatever the heck they show. I guess I can't call him. I can't say him. So if this video gets taken down at any point, because I'm ostensibly gonna call him him because it's mental illness not to. I had to like crop out that just to get the thumbnail up. I think the thumbnail is gonna stay. I think it's gonna stick now because I cropped that out, but only time will tell. Okay, so this cover, before we talk about the latest in the Ezra Miller Odyssey, filmmaker Andy Muschietti, who has directed the Will It Ever See the Light of Day Flash movie starring Ezra Miller and ostensibly Michael Keaton, if the film ever sees the light of day, nobody knows. Andy Muschietti has done a cover for DC's upcoming prequel comic, The Flash, The Fastest Man Alive, #1. Now, again, I called the video, the thumbnail, I had it say The Fastest Man Alive, referencing this. I guess you can draw him as the Flash, but you can't call him a him if you're referring to him as Barry Allen. It's very confusing. But apparently DC plans to pull this cover from circulation, and it seems easy enough to understand. What is it about wanting to see these guys butt naked? I never thought Barry Allen doesn't wear tighty whities under that Flash suit. That never crossed my mind. What kind of degeneracy thinks of these things? I honestly don't know. And I can't see what people see in any of this. But anyway, this was supposed to be, I guess, tying into the movie. This is the prequel comic, and we have, the bare butt Ezra Miller as Barry Allen getting dressed in the middle of the street for some reason. And I can't think of a more apropos image to show of Ezra Miller's tenure as the Flash, where he's basically mooning the rest of the DC universe. There's nothing more appropriate than that. We have Batman trying to get business done in the background there, fighting, I think Girder is the villain. And we have crazy Ezra Miller ostensibly mooning the DCEU and Batman pretty much the only one they care about in the DCEU, in the middle of the street and throwing the costume down on the ground as if it were garbage and he could care less. That's where we are, folks. That's where we are now in the DCEU. All right. Ezra Miller has deleted his Instagram account following a series of bizarre posts which appeared to taunt the police, who are now searching for the actor at large, who is now on the run apparently with a minor after absconding with this child, I guess, in Hawaii. Now, I'm getting conflicting reports. I think the person in question is 18 years old. So the story goes that he was grooming this child at 11 and 12. And apparently this family, a Native American family, allowed Ezra into their home like so many people have, and like so many people have regretted. They have let Ezra Miller into their home and have come to regret it. I know this is not funny, really, but again, this is the most bizarre character that I've ever seen related to a comic book property. After being arrested twice in Hawaii for a variety of incidents, including verbal and physical assault and theft, the Flash star was recently accused of supplying a minor to Kata Iron Eyes. That's her name. Again, I don't know. I think it's a her because they won't let you know that during this crazy time we call society. Supplying a minor, Dakota Iron Eyes, with drugs and alcohol. The situation escalated when Miller appeared to go off on the lam with the now 18-year-old in an attempt to evade law enforcement officers and Dakota's parents, Chase Iron Eyes and Sarah Jumping Eagle. I wish I had a name like that. Don't you? What would my name be called? I don't know. Does it have to be related to well, Iron Eyes, I guess, doesn't have anything to do with the great bird or lion or something. Dakota's parents were granted a protective order against the actor. Dakota did release a video refuting the accusations, but many believe Miller is manipulating the teen and concerns for her safety continue to grow. All right, so it is a her. We can say that, I guess, because they say that here. Miller moves around so much that we're stuck in this legal limbo situation and we can't serve them in any place they're in long enough, said Chase Iron Eyes in a statement. They've been flighty, they've been avoiding service, and now there's public pressure mounting on them to make a decision, which makes us very concerned about Ezra's violent nature. As we know, he just seems to be wandering around the island of Hawaii, asking for people to take him in, and then once they take him in, he causes them nothing but grief, causes the locale nothing but trouble, and then ends up stealing whatever you have at the ready before he leaves with his illustrious presence. It's crazy. All right, so let's see. After years of development challenges, the Flash film, we'll talk about the film now, is finally on track to be released in 2023. However, Barry Allen's standalone adventure has been mired in controversy due to its star Ezra Miller, the actor being the subject of serious allegations throughout the year, which Warner Brothers has not been able to before acknowledge. Fans have long speculated about the studio's potential choices regarding Miller, ranging from firing them after The Flash is released to removing them after the film, from removing them from the film altogether and replacing them with someone else. Now, Deadline has provided a better idea of where the studio stands, claiming that Miller is currently no longer part of DC's future plans. Your services are no longer required. And apparently, Ezra is going to be persona non grata there at the DCEU. The trade published a piece discussing the challenges that Miller's recent legal troubles have brought on for the studio, and in it said that Warner Brothers attempted to help the Flash star to no avail. As for how WB will handle the actor, Deadline source stressed how difficult Miller's scandals have been for Warner Brothers, Discovery CEO David Zaslav, and implied that the studio hopes for the situation to quiet down in time for the movie's 2023 release. There is no winning in this for Warner Brothers. This is an inherited problem for Zaslav. The hope is that the scandal will remain at a low level before the movie is released and hope for the best to turn out. In other words, for me to sort of explain that, they're going to hope that he doesn't kill somebody, that he literally doesn't kill somebody, and they'll just hand wave this and be like, crazy Ezra Miller, wasn't he a knucklehead? All right, he's all right now. We'll show the movie, and then we don't want nothing to do with him. We don't. This is like, again, I'm going to kind of get on my soapbox, but this is like, I don't know how, and fans, to their credit, have been clamoring for removing him. A lot of people are saying Grant Gustin should just take over the role from the TV show. I don't think that's going to happen for a couple of reasons. I think they want to keep the universes separate. I wouldn't have a problem with them doing this and just recasting him. I don't think they want the holdover of the CW audience to affect this, because they're going to say, where's Caitlin? Where's Cisco? Where's Iris? Where's Joe? And this is going to be a completely different continuity, and then you're going to have to deal with that. But I would love to see Grant Gustin be the DCEU version of The Flash. Just pick up. Of course, you got to remember, Grant Gustin has done the show for going to be 9 years pretty soon. He's going to be on next season, and we don't really know what the future holds for that either. Maybe he's got another season. I think they want to do it for 10 years. I'm pretty sure they're going to. But he might not want to do it. But again, I think the best way to handle this, you change the ending of the picture. You just write him out in favor of a new actor. Maybe it's Grant Gustin. I hope it's Grant Gustin. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Lucas Till. I think Lucas Till is a great choice. I've heard that name thrown around a lot, and I could see it. You know, we have a blonde Barry Allen for a change. Heaven forbid they cast somebody that looks like the character in the comics. But again, like I said, some fans have been clamoring for him to leave, but it's basically everyone's beating the dead horse on Amber Heard, and, you know, I feel like the fandom needs like a shrew to beat up on. They had this in Brie Larson for the longest time because she had some choice words for, 40-year-old white men and so on. So we beat that horse into the ground, and then we took it out on her being, just a horrible person, a not attractive person, and so on and so forth. I feel like we're doing the same thing with Amber Heard. Again, I'm not really taking sides at all in that case. I really don't care, to be totally honest with you. A lot of people are they're sort of pinning their frustrations with how they've been treated, I think, in relationships, and how women aren't held accountable for being abusive physically and verbally as well as mentally. And it should be the case that, we care about that women aren't seen as just being honest all the time. Trust me, they're not. And they should be held accountable as much as the next person, as much as men, because, let's face it, they're very, very, very capable of being physically and emotionally and mentally and verbally abusive. But to me, that whole caper, the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing was just a he said, she said thing. It didn't really impact me, because the court, like I said before, the court doesn't care about your pain. The fact that you're living through Johnny Depp and he won some couple of $1 million that he doesn't need one way or the other, his good name is probably not going to be salvaged with the film studios. I don't think he's getting Jack Sparrow back anytime soon. He's probably not going to go back to the Harry Potter franchise. And that's not fair. And it's not right. But that's what I mean. This whole case really doesn't amount to a hill of beans to your situation or to his situation. And, I believe Depp, and I suppose on his side, in as much as I don't think he was physically abusive. I think that it probably was mostly that he was just not a very attentive husband, and she's a very clinging wife. And the fact that she was more physically abusive in her personality probably made it, it was a straw that sort of broke the camel's back when he like had a finger severed, and you know that there was abuse in that relationship. But again, this is, I mean, she should continue on with Mera and Aquaman 2. He should continue on in Pirates of the Caribbean. Just leave them alone to hash out their own personal issues and their own personal grievances with each other. I don't believe in cancel culture either way. Now, in the case of this, I don't believe in necessarily canceling Ezra Miller until he does something maybe that's worthy of being canceled. In the same way here, getting into a bar fight or something, that's nothing. That's inconsequential. But what the problem is nobody really liked this guy as Barry Allen to begin with. He's way too goofy. Needless to say, he doesn't look anything like the character as pictured in the comics, so we can do better. But again, I don't have a problem with just letting this film come out, letting it come out as is. Maybe, like I said, the way you salvage this going forward is if it's going to be a multiverse film, and we know it is because we've got two Flashes played by Ezra Miller. We have Michael Keaton's Batman. We have a Supergirl from another dimension. If they want to just be done with Ezra, just write an ending where he's put out in his own universe to pasture, and then you bring in whatever your new Flash is going to be. I think that's what they wanted to do for Superman. That's why they got Supergirl in it. They want to put Henry Cavill out to pasture. I think they're going to put the Ben Affleck Batman out to pasture and bring in Michael Keaton, which is, again, kind of controversial because then you got a 70-year-old Batman that I don't know, is he going to still be fighting in the costume? Are they going to try to play down that maybe, Michael Keaton can kind of play a 50-year-old? And then that explains, well, yeah, I mean, he could probably still do his Batmaning at 50. I don't know. It's just, it's crazy where we are now in this whole thing. Anyhow, before we wrap it up, let me finish the copy. There are different possible outcomes for the Flash per the report. Zaslav is considering different directions for the film, 3 of which are restrain the Flash's marketing campaign. Now, what does that mean? I guess that means don't go all in trying to sell a turkey. You know what I mean? Just let it release in theaters, give it minimal marketing, say, hey, yeah, the Flash is back. Don't spend an arm and a leg on it. So when and if it bombs, which I don't know, I think Michael Keaton is a strong enough marketing drive for people to want to see it. But then when it bombs, you haven't spent a lot of money. The word of mouth wasn't all over the place saying, go see the Flash, so people could make it out to be a disaster. 2, release the movie on HBO Max and front the financial loss. Deadline puts the Flash's price tag at $200 million. So yeah, they could just like sneak it in somewhere. This is like this is sort of the modern way of doing the DTV movie. It's a direct to video. They spent some money. They're going to take the loss for all that money to make it a quality A picture, but then they're going to sneak it into HBO Max, let people just watch it, make up their mind about it, and move on because you're not going to have as much hullabaloo on it on HBO Max. Or the third option being release the film as planned, but let Miller go afterwards should the situation not improve. The last option is interesting since it appears to indicate that WB is still in some way considering keeping the actor on as Barry Allen. At the moment, though, there is some very little information available about the situation and WB's overall plan to make an educated guess as to which of the 3 options above is the most plausible. I think they're probably going to stick with 3. The third option, I think they're probably just going to release this in films, this film in theaters. They're going to wait and see what's going to happen with Miller up until, maybe 2 months ahead of time, and then decide, well, let's not market this as, the Flash going forward. This is sort of an aberration, and the Flash's story will be quite different from here. According to Deadline, Zaslav is expected to reach a decision on what to do about the Flash in the near future, so it may not be long until there's a clearer look about Ezra Miller's standing in DC's film franchise. The Flash is expected to arrive in theaters on June 23rd, 2023. So, let me know what you think in the comments below about the whole sordid details of Ezra Miller and the Flash. What do you think about the Flash movie going forward? Should they just dump it, basically? Either dump it in theaters and just get it over with. Should they just put it on HBO Max, dump it there, let it get over with? Should they just put it out as planned and hope that maybe Ezra kind of cleans up his act? If you want to know more about Ezra Miller and his crazy shenanigans, just look up past episodes of the Torch News Roundup, and we've been following the story of the Flash movie for literally years. This has been going on for quite a while, even before Ezra started losing his mind. So that about wraps it up. Thank you for joining me. God love you for being here. You know, without you guys, there is no show, there is no channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you check it out. I hope you leave a comment. Let me know what you think about any of the topics that we've mentioned. Please check out the Twitter account. We've got the poll up. Looks like we didn't get any more votes, so it's still 50-50 on whether Thor will die in Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm going to try to do polls more often. I had fun doing them for quite a while, and then it kind of stopped. Because I guess because the nature of the movies coming out, there really wasn't much to talk about for a couple of years there. Need I go into that? But now we're going to try to have some more fun. We'll have some fun with those polls. And check out The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. Make sure you check out my website. You can pick up your copy of any of the issues or trades of The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. 10-year anniversary this year. We've been going strong for 10 years, and we're not going to stop anytime soon. You're going to see these characters grow, the story grow in all kinds of different directions. The villains, we've got some great new villains coming out. This is the final story arc of the first season. Second season, going to have a lot more new villains, although we have a new villain, at least one new villain in every story, in every new story arc. So that's always been a constant. And, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you check out the reviews that we've got a lot of views coming up. We got a lot of reviews coming up, and the past reviews that we've done, a lot of them we've done recently. We've done Multiverse of Madness. We did Moon Knight. We did the Obi-Wan series. I've liked all this stuff so far. For me, it's been a pretty good era. Now, we've got the rest of Kenobi's show coming up. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I hope it's going to be good. We've got Thor: Love and Thunder, which kind of gives me pause. We got Ms. Marvel, which I'll probably get to soon. The show is only on the second episode. I haven't watched any of it yet. And we also have, of course, Morbius, which I'm going to try to get to this weekend and hopefully have a video out for that before too long. So until next we meet, this is Johnnie Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.
Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
Whoa, bro.
You want to fight? You want to learn it?